Whoa. This is fun. This is fun. Hello, friends, and welcome to our room. And we barely had a moment to put our stuff down before...
Alright, train moving.
Whoa. That was speedy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we'll film, when it starts moving. And then it immediately started moving. So with the train and our butts eastbound, we wanted to get the lay of the land, starting with our room. Hi, hello there. Here we are at our accommodations for the next...
I do not like
For our trip, we decided to
this
get
stuff.
the bedroom. As you can tell, it's not
I prefer triple thick.
it's not giant, but we got some stuff in here.
I have to use it later, I think.
Sleep like 2 to 4 people. Your first question might be, where? Well, the couch down here folds out into a bed, and this thing up here also folds down to make a second bed. Maybe you can...
They might teach us how to do
They
it.
might teach us how to do it.
Yeah.
Luggage management in our train compartment was certainly a question, a skill set we had not yet fully honed. Obviously, we have all of our luggage piled in this corner here, and then we have another seat over here that slightly swivels.
It does.
And besides this little seating area, we also have, drumroll please, an ensuite bathroom. Ta-da! There it is!
That's
And
just
then
the
this is
way.
our shower.
This
Nice.
is the shower.
So it's just
Bigger faces.
Yes, it is a shower toilet combo, but for a train compartment, it's
I think
convenient to have
I'll glue on these guys first. Not glue,
Shower
paint.
test incoming a little later in the video. Then we also have a sink and mirror over here, featuring the only thing I will complain slightly about, our soap dispenser. This is the way to work hard.
yeah.
Don't have any black spray paint, so we're
Which
just
did
gonna
indeed
jump in
flop around
this.
and fall into the sink a lot during our trip.
Like that.
I thought someone was like attacking. And then finally, there was also a secret coat closet tucked
Hey
away in
guys, welcome to the
corner
channel.
over here, which we did
This is
not
it.
discover
This is
until
exciting as it gets.
Look at that.
You're welcome to stay here or pop in every once in a while and see what I'm up to.
Our room, we figured that the best next thing to do would be to give you guys a tour of the rest of the train. I'm nervous. Go for it. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
Just to show you guys the digs.
It's kind of like being between 2 tectonic plates.
Now, these first 3 cars up here are all
Oopsie.
different variations on sleeper cars, and our producer Melissa was staying in the sleeper car next to ours in a roulette, which can sleep up to 2 people. I would say accommodating, but there's not a lot of space.
Yeah,
for you to
these aren't gonna be
It's
good to work
well
with.
suited for one person.
How about stay
They're just too much detail. It's fabulous, but it also means paint's an ass.
Into a bed, but there's also a bed up here. Oh, cool. And besides bedrooms and roulettes, these 3 cars up here are also filled with some more bathrooms, luggage, drinking water, and tons of coffee stations at every corner. They really ply you with coffee. It's the best. Let's keep forward. After these 3, the next car down the line is the dining car, which we will circle back to in a bit, but it's pretty cute and has kind of an old school train vibe with its banquette seating and flowers on every table. And then after the dining car is the observation car, which has truly floor to ceiling windows instead of walls and is obviously optimized for lounging and looking at stuff. Hot dogs or legs? The California Zephyr does pass through a pretty scenic route, so the observation car is pretty popular. Early on day 1 of our trip, we were mostly looking at cows and rocks. Rocks? Rocks.
I have made a deal with Sophia that I will film every good rock we see.
And you guys know, I like rocks. So I was pretty pleased. Now, beneath the observation car is the snack area. Which I had actually been looking for because I was ready for a snack. And they basically offer a variety of things you can put into a toaster oven, as well as an assortment of booze. Hello friends, welcome to the snack. Welcome to my snack. We decided to grab a couple of egg sandwiches. They look really good, isn't it?
They actually really do.
Which were truly delightful.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mike with Snack Bar. Ladies and gentlemen, our snack bar is open and serving. The snack bar located center of the train, and our safety lounge are on the lower level.
And after that brief snack interlude, the last 3 cars of the train are sort of like the normal cabins, which included what we thought was kind of a hidden gem that we didn't really discover until day 2, the caboose. It's giving Wile E. Coyote vibes.
100%.
From which the view is pretty picturesque, actually. There's no place to like sit. It's not like a designated like actual like viewing area. No. It's just like the back door. But it's definitely worth coming back here. Okay, so rewinding back to day 1. Now the California Zephyr does make a number of stops, 35 in total, but most of them are very brief. In fact, only 9 of the stops over the entire route are longer than a minute or 2. And we quickly arrived at our first longer stop in Sacramento.
Do you want to get off?
Yeah, why not?
How long is stop for? 10 minutes? Yeah. Let's do it. Capital City, baby.
And we wanted to get off at all of the stops that we could, just to see what every station was like. Alright, so we're here in Sacramento. I think our first stop is longer than like a minute long, but I think we've already burned a bunch of minutes trying to figure out how to get off the train.
Yes.
So I don't think we have time to do anything in Sacramento.
No.
In fact, I feel we might not even have.
A tasty and nutritious snack. Let's call that a win-win. Yoko Nano, it's your snack champ.
Febreze. When you host, your bathroom can feel like a revolving door. Keep things fresh with Febreze bathroom. No batteries, no outlets needed. This air freshener fights odors for 45 days. So even after every flush, you know your bathroom smells amazing. Pair with Charmin toilet paper.
Paying cash to get your cash? How about unlimited free withdrawals from any ATM anywhere in Canada? Let's take more make.
Don't just take my word for it. Trust the 2 million people who rely on Holofly.
Holofly is the best kept secret for travelers.
Do what I did and join the community of connected travelers with Holofly.
More groundbreaking than inventing the wheel. We'll get better at this. One of our goals for the trip is to not be left behind until at least Iowa.
Yes. Until at least Iowa.
After Sacramento, the train started climbing up the mountains towards the Nevada border, and we made our first official stop in the dining car. Now, the dining car serves 3 meals a day, and though the menu is pretty limited, I thought the food was decent. It was definitely better than airplane food. I got the burger for lunch all 3 days, and I was not mad about it.
A scenic shot of me opening the mustard packet. Probably the mustard packet.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, though the menu is pretty small, Amtrak really lays it on thick with the condiments. Like, I had more mustard and ketchup than I could ever need in front of me at all times. And they also really bring the rain with the desserts at every meal. For example, here is Tyler's lunchtime butter cake.
Butter cake. Oh, that does sound good.
This morning, basically. I don't know what you're really doing.
On our way up the Sierra Nevadas, we also ran into another staple of the California Zephyr, long delays, as the train kind of came to a stop right in the middle of our lunch for about an hour. Apparently it's normal for the Zephyr to be delayed anywhere from a few hours to an entire day, but we quickly developed the perfect solution: napping.
You're big room for me. Where am I supposed to go?
Because between the ambient rail noise, the slight rocking of the train cars, landscape zooming or crawling by, the nook vibes of the train compartments, the atmosphere of the train is just really conducive to sleep. So we conked out for a couple of hours and woke up at much higher elevation near Lake Tahoe.
There's a nice juicy rock. Hello.
All right.
And Dr. Cass
To a stash jar.
a trio of red, blue, and green kayakers and trading in the snow for some nice classic rocks. We crossed our first.
There we go. Now this guy, I would love to just take his jacket off. Unfortunately, he got nothing underneath. Minus the hair. So we're gonna turn him into a stash jar.
Now, originally, we had wanted to try and do something at each longer stop, like maybe get a keychain or a themed souvenir, but in reality, there isn't really like a souvenir shop just waiting on every platform, and I was way more nervous to get left behind than I thought I would be.
This is the full Reno experience.
The full Reno experience.
We're dashing. We're just going. Don't go through any turnstiles. That's the key.
And unfortunately, we did not see any stray slot machines within playable distance.
Ooh, little museum.
This is on far
I just got texted. Could be
So
Melissa.
he's gonna keep his jacket.
Okay, we gotta go.
So we booked it back to our train car with a minute or 2 to spare.
Go, 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 go. We're close. Back on board. Okay.
I feel like that was our first taste of what 10 minutes is like.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that long.
No.
After all of that excitement, dinner was shortly upon us.
This will be the last call for all passengers boarding on 6 o'clock dinner reservation.
That's awesome. And once again, there was condiments aplenty, from the large packet of salad dressing
I like this Paul Newman in a
Tudor Shakespearean outfit, to the balsamic-y glaze for the chicken, and an entire bowl of butter packets.
Sorry, did you need butter? I can't believe you need butter.
I can't believe it's this much butter. And once again, the dessert came in like a wrecking ball.
It's actually pretty artful.
Chocolate toffee mousse.
As we ordered this massive slice of chocolate cake that rivaled the size of even Guy Fieri's Cheesecake Challenge in Vegas. And honestly, it was pretty damn good.
The Amtrak Chocolate Cake Challenge.
So as you could probably tell by the atomic nap, we were pretty tired, and after one more stop in Winnemucca, Nevada, whose claim to fame is that one time a bank here may have been robbed by Butch Cassidy himself.
And Sunday's
Yes, yeah.
We were pretty much ready to retire for the night, which meant that we needed to set up our room for sleeping.
Hello. And welcome to our bed situation. It's kind of a situation.
Curtis helped us out with this since it wasn't necessarily the easiest, pulling the top bunk bed down from the ceiling and pushing the lower seats down to make the bottom bunk.
I have been slowly staking my life. I've been making it very clear that I want
Just take this off for now. Put it back on after.
And as much as I was impressed with the transformation, this left us with even less floor space than before.
So I think I'm going to gouge out the eyes. And I'm going to put eyes on all of the antlers. That's the plan anyway. Yeah, it looks like I should redo the eyes. The fabric doesn't look stable for long term.
And after hoisting myself up to my lofty accommodations, I discovered
See how it's in ran when they put the original eyes in? That's not exactly the safest. Well, it's fine, but
a safety net next to the bed so you don't get yeeted off the top bunk during the night. No, which makes sense, but at the time, we had no idea. Now, we passed out pretty quickly, but we did have to wake up at 5 a.m., so we didn't miss our stop in Salt Lake City. I can't say we saw any salt or any lake because it was pitch black, but I was pretty proud of us getting out of bed and continuing our streak of hitting every stop.
How'd you sleep?
I'm sleeping pretty well. I refuse to sleep. I'm not I haven't slept. I'm sleeping currently.
come on, you bastard.
But once back on the train, we promptly passed back out.
Arthritis is starting to kick in.
Sleeping straight through breakfast and all the way to the Colorado-Utah border.
Oh no, thrilling, isn't it?
Mattress is a little hard, but I decided I could do that.
There we go, finally.
Now, at the state border, the train passes by the Colorado River, which is also known on the Zephyr as Moon River, as the kayakers will, when they see a passing train,
Yeah, they're waving.
drop trow and moon the train.
Oh my god, they are. They're mooning us. Oh my god. Those are asses. 2 asses.
This was by far the most surprising part of the trip for me. I had no idea this was even a thing.
They're mooning us, guys. The question is, when do we moon back?
Although apparently Curtis has tried to moon back before.
I had 2 ball guys downstairs. And they were like... Now they're gonna say 2 bald guys carrying his asses.
But after recovering from the shock of it all, we arrived at our next stop, which notably had a small convenience store next to the platform.
Sit for a minute.
This was actually a pretty high-stakes situation, like we really needed some contact solution. Contact solution! And we actually were also able to realize our dream of a themed souvenir stop, which was very exciting.
Got the most of it clean.
Like I said before, 10 minutes goes faster than you would think, and it wasn't Iowa yet, so we were not trying to get left behind. And I think that was our train that honked. That train honk sent a river of adrenaline through me.
Well, that lady is with us. She thought it was our show.
She ran too, right? Yeah. But
I
at least we
wonder if I
had
should open that up a bit more.
This is it. Everything else is smooth.
Now, the elephant in
I'm
our
going
room
in.
was certainly the shower, because we had promised to, at some point, try it out. And that point was now.
Alright. Wish me luck. Good luck.
Alright, let's see. Oh my god. This just fell over. Okay, go now. Now, I think part of our concern was the fact that not only was the shower directly over the toilet, not warm yet. Oh, it's getting warm. Okay. We got warm water, people. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Water pressure not so bad. But the entire contraption was moving and swaying with the train. Oh, yeah. Cleanser down. Cleanser down. So it just seemed like a precarious situation. There is a thing here that says you may find showering easier while seated. The worst part by far for me was the fact that the shower head would tilt and sway with the movements of the train. So the water stream would swing abruptly from one side of the shower to the other. This is hard. There's a lot of moving pieces. Oh my god! And the train is also literally moving. Moving pieces all around. And even though I had been trying to avoid showering directly over the toilet, it seemed like the shower head just had to go on its own. Okay, the shower head wants to swing this way, so I'll just come this way. Why fight it? Why are you trying to fight it? I was glad that I never took a tumble, even though my toiletries did, and even though I didn't, I could definitely see the advantages of literally sitting on the toilet.
How was it?
That was a lot, right? I did it though. I watched all the things I wanted to watch. Oh my god. Where are those mooners? Those moon peelers? Oh, they give them a taste of their own medicine. I'm ready. But I would say we did successfully shower. And interestingly enough, the toilet paper survived to tell the tale. So up until this point, the whole train experience had been
I think that would be the only time I'd ever dare flash anybody is if passing them on a train. There goes the train, there goes titties!
Now, besides trying to figure out how to rearrange our luggage so that it didn't take up our entire room, and our skincare products slightly exploding because of the elevation.
What's that?
Wrinkle stuff? Got some?
This is not some exploded wrinkle stuff.
Our only real complaint with the whole experience was that our sleeper car specifically did have a bit of a smell. Like whenever anyone flushed the toilet in their room, there was an odor. The lack of space is kind of like a consideration. The smell is just like kind of unfortunate.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
If there was a blind smell test, you could identify our cabin.
Yeah. I think it had to do specifically with the age or state of disrepair of our train car specifically, because the other two sleeper cars on either side of us didn't really have this problem. This one smells good.
This one smells good.
Yeah.
It also has air fresheners.
But on the positive side, as we've mentioned, the train itself is quite cozy. There isn't a ton of cell phone service, so you are kind of unplugged and almost on your own little planet for a couple of days, which I did find pretty relaxing. So there's
No.
Okay, there we go.
Sort of, yeah. I prefer those seats.
And kind of
Window
because
TV.
Everyone's stuck on the same train together, and it's a long journey. People are sort of down to talk and hang out, which is pretty fun. There was, for example, a grandpa who was convinced that we were mooing during dinner.
You just mooing. Somebody mooing when we went to the house. It wasn't me. Oh, I thought it was you.
And pranking him, trying to convince him that the cows outside were just super loud.
I would tell you. I'm not gonna lie about mooing. Yeah. No.
Yeah, let's see now.
And I
Here's
have
that new
to say,
bag.
slightly later on in the trip, I think we did run into the phantom mooers. They're so loud. As I mentioned, hearing a super loud moo in the observation car, and then people in the corner started laughing conspiratorially. So I think that grandpa was right. It seems like a guy, wasn't it?
Crazy movers.
Moose.
Where the heck is it?
Besides grandpas and moors, you also run into some people who take this episode here as an exhibition.
What do locals know about fresh food? At Foodland, your locals really fresh.
Prices were just too good.
Too big.
Wait, you rent trucks?
No, low prices. I travel for business, and I have
1, 2, 3,
never stay on the same floor as your boss, and always book your trip.
4, 5, 6. There we go.
See, they give you a
It's the most out of Instagram.
You could have a million followers
followers and still not be able to pay your bills.
Turn comments into cash. Sell more products, boost event signups, and crush affiliate sales all on Autolite. Try MiniChat for free today.
Stop paying for life insurance that doesn't include the ability to pay out when you're still alive. Almost 50% of Canadians will get cancer in their lifetime. That's why having a life insurance policy with terminal illness coverage includes.
Yeah, it looks great. As well as people who get on the train, then get off at a specific spot for a few days, and then get back on to finish the journey, to kind of make their Zephyr trip into a true vacation, which would certainly solve our problem of 10 minutes a stop isn't long enough to do much of anything at all. Okay, I got off at Winter Park. It's freezing cold. It's so cold. Alright, we're going. So I guess people do seem to really enjoy it. Now, some iteration of the California Zephyr has been around since 1949, and prior to the popularization of commercial airline flights, was a crown jewel of American railroad travel. This current route is actually a relaunch of the original by Amtrak, who started operating it in 1983. And to this day, it still sees an average of 350,000 riders every year. And beyond connecting major cities, it does also pass through many historical and geographical landmarks, like the Donner Pass. They weren't can hold, but they did carry it. Yeah. That one bank that Butch Cassidy robbed, and the Moffat Tunnel, which is one of the big events of the route.
Alright, folks, coming up to that world famous Moffat Tunnel. The world famous Moffat Tunnel is 6.2 miles long and takes us about 10 minutes to travel through.
Blasted through in 1927,
There we go.
the Moffat Tunnel provided a way
That's
through
the head.
mountains
Ooh,
for
some
trains
fangs.
traveling from Denver to the West Coast, and it travels directly
Where's the
below the
fangs?
continental
Where's my
divide.
fang bucket? I wonder if I should put more than one in. Canada Post is on strike, so I really shouldn't waste.
Don't you worry, there's a lot more where that came from. After the tunnel, there was just a short stretch of mountain left until things started to flatten out. It's the Emoji Movie. Sorry, it's gone.
Should have put more eyes on it.
Which brought us to our longest stop of the entire trip, a nice 30 minutes in Denver. Now, I
Maybe.
think the train is generally
Think about
supposed to stop in Denver in the late afternoon. But since we were still running late from our original delays near Lake Tahoe, we arrived at the Denver station around 9 p.m., which meant that a lot of the stuff was already closed, except for the bar and what looked like a coffee shop selling even more desserts. Even more cheesecake? I don't know about that.
Should I go take like a shot or something? Maybe I should get a Robert Irvine.
So after taking a peek at downtown Denver,
This is probably the no-go zone for us.
yeah, we probably should not go any farther than we already have. We basically just hopped back on the train. So Tyler decided he had to take a shot at the Denver station, so he wants a drink.
Yeah.
So to make it up to him, we went down to the snack car and ordered a watermelon White Claw and a Moscow Mule in a can. Oh no. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
This is the Princess Bride?
It's exactly like the Princess Bride. They're actually both White Claw. I've just built up my tolerance to White Claw slowly over years and years. And after our stop in Denver, I think the crew had had enough of being behind schedule.
You're hammered, dude. Retreat now.
And started absolutely booking it through the roof.
There we go. That's the head. I do need to paint and seal the eye.
Causing the train to
general.
occasionally rock violently back and forth. And after setting up our beds for the night, we cozied up to watch a classic, Snakes on a Train.
I'm not sure it's a real movie.
It's not real?
No. The Street Snake of the Plane is real.
I was so sure that Snakes on a Train was also part of that series.
It feels like it should be.
So we settled for the next best thing, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Oh, Newman, I love your salad dressing, man.
After which I promptly curled up and passed out.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Snug as a snake on a train. See you in Omaha, bitches.
So we hurtled through the night and basically the entire state of Nebraska, keeping up the breakneck speed, which was slightly terrifying. So much so that we actually got to our stop in Omaha, Nebraska early at around 5 a.m.
Wakey, wakey. Oh my God. Omaha.
best, but it will work.
Quality dutifully arose to keep up our stop streak.
Hello, Omaha.
I did try and go inside the Omaha station to see what it was like.
He sees us. He says no.
But Curtis, ever watchful, was on to me and did not have time for our shenanigans.
He saw us and get back here. Might try and wrap around like 2 minutes and then look at us.
Now, I was pretty jazzed that we finally made it to breakfast on our final morning, since I love breakfast food.
Big shit croissant sandwich. Inspired.
I am admittedly not an early morning person, so you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought the dining car's breakfast hours being 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. were a little early.
Yeah, it's a little early for me.
By the breakfast condiment spread that they had to offer.
Wow, that's hard-working.
Bring our hands mothers.
That's hardcore.
Amtrak does not and will not skip on the condiments, people. And after a much-needed second nap, there were soft spots. We got out at our next stop in Ottumwa, Iowa, in our pajamas.
So they got like a little historic installation thing.
After checking out the Ottumwa Station's museum display, we got back on the train and pulled ourselves together for the final.
Oh, that's a big spider. Oh, that's a big spider in my room.
Mississippi River to reach our 7th and final state. Let's get some boys. Sorry.
Oh, actually, that's pretty good in there. Not perfect, but what do you want?
We did poke our heads out in Galesburg, Illinois, our penultimate stop, to see their vintage Pullman sleeper car that they had parked next to the platform. And this was the closest that we had gotten to actually getting left behind. I know I said that I was okay with getting left behind in Iowa, and we had made it to Illinois, but I actually didn't really want to get left behind at all.
How was our closest trainer that you say we had?
I like how Tyler was like, maybe we can get off and get a keychain at every single one. And it's like, no, are you kidding?
Now, overall, though there were a few bumps and bruises and smells on our journey, I thought that our first foray into train content was a lot of fun. Though the passing scenery had evolved from bay to mountain to Great Plain, I did get to see a lot of rocks on our journey, so I was quite pleased.
So I'm happy about that.
Rock City.
Many streets.
And I was also quite pleased with the never-ending train of sauces and condiments that Amtrak showered us with.
Where's Paul Newman?
Where's Paul?
Where's Paul? And now that we've learned a little bit about getting our sea legs on the train, maximizing floor space, and knowing what these straps do, I think we're ready to take on some other trains. So let us know where we should go next.
All right, 52 hours.
Ow, hot.
States. I'm not exactly sure how many miles, but a couple thousand miles. A check. We didn't get left behind. We do not mind.
But in the meantime, I was pretty ready to get home to Chicago.
Okay, I got first moves.
Feel something?
It's your tower.
Game's on here. First skyline sighting. So California's effort, it's been real. Future passengers, you'll be in good hands with Curtis. I can almost guarantee he won't leave you behind until at least Galesburg. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked that video, make sure to smash that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Here are our short form social media handles, and here's our merch website. And with that, I will see you guys on next video.
Style mask storage cabinet is your ultimate desk organizer. Store all your stationery and files neatly. Convenient.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another video. This week, we're going to be staying in every hotel on the Vegas Strip. Move over, Rat Pack. Sophia and Tyler are coming to town. Now, the Las Vegas Strip is pretty world famous for being a
love Vegas. Go back to Vegas in a heartbeat. Well,
nightlife, and general debauchery.
once they
And
get their
there are
shit
a
sorted
number of
anyway.
huge, usually themed casino mega resorts on the Vegas Strip. If you've ever seen Ocean's 11 or The Hangover, However, you probably know a few, like the Bellagio, Caesar's Palace, Paris, which, though they all share a general slate of amenities, the chokehold that Cirque du Soleil has on Vegas casinos is truly mind-boggling. They each also have their own unique characteristics and charm. And at night,
Alright, let's see if we can stuff this in a body.
Now, I actually don't know if you guys know this, but Tyler and I are pretty big fans of Las Vegas. It might be a bit surprising whether aren't huge gamblers or partiers or Gucci shopper-atters, but we love Vegas. Some combination of the over-the-top theming, giant hotels, and everything being open super late just rocks. We love walking around malls. We are, for better or for worse, some iteration of Disney adults. And I'd say the Vegas Strip is kind of like a giant adult mall Disneyland.
It is.
With more boobs and more alcohol.
Yep.
But even having been to Vegas a few times, we haven't even come close to staying at all of the hotels on the Vegas Strip.
Every time I have to scrape you off, you bastard.
I always wonder, what would it be like to stay there or there? What is it really like inside of the Excalibur? So we decided to put our love of Vegas to the test by going on a 2-week-long Vegas extravaganza and staying in every casino on the Strip. Are we insane? Yes, probably. Are we blacked out? Not yet. Don't worry, Mom. That was a joke. Or was it? It was. Also, this video is going to need 2 parts because we have a lot of ground to cover. So make sure you're subscribed in order to catch part 2 as well. On that note, I do want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, PayPal Honey. If you haven't heard of Honey, you probably have, but if you haven't,
Markiplier was right.
extension that helps save you money when you shop online. Basically, the way it works is that when you check out, this little queenie guy will scour the internet for promo codes for whatever website you're on. Need a swimsuit to wear to DJ Pauly D's day party at Dre's? A flaming bowling shirt to wear to Guy Fieri's restaurant? A pair of fish flops to wear after your fish pedicure at Circus? Yes, they have that. These guys
Fish flops.
Working on a huge variety
There
of
we
different
go.
websites, from clothing to beauty to home goods, searching for promo codes to help you find better prices. So thanks to Honey for enabling years of wild antics on this channel. This might be the wildest one yet, and make sure to get Honey for free using my link, joinhoney.com/Sophia, for a good time and to save some of your borrowed cash. And with that, let's head to Vegas. So in talking about which hotels we're going to be staying at, we only really considered hotels that have addresses directly on South Las Vegas Boulevard, between the iconic Welcome to Las Vegas sign and the Strat Hotel. We were mostly working off of this
I never
list,
get a
which
chance to go
includes
see
all
that
of the
Las
big
Vegas
major
sign. I kinda
casinos
regret
we
that.
all know and love, but excludes anything that's just off the Strip, as well as any timeshare properties like the Hilton Vacation Club and any smaller chain hotels, like the Travelodge next to Circus. And that puts the list of Las Vegas Strip properties that met our criteria at 33. And our plan of attack is to start here at the south end of the Strip, work our way north on the west side of the street, and then when we get to the end, turn around and do the other side. Now, just to be clear, we did book a room at every single one of the hotels on our list. Come on, come on, come on. And we tried as best as we could to get the base room in each place so we could generally compare them. I feel like we're gonna have to alternate cuddling in a double bed together or sleeping apart and sleeping very physically.
You speak for yourself. I need as much space as possible for my plantar fasciitis.
But in order to knock out 33 hotels in about 2 weeks, we can't spend the whole night in every room. Get that plantar fasciitis off this bed. Instead, we're going to be hitting 2 to 3 hotels.
Oh, actually,
a
with
day
that in
and
Vegas, I would hurt like a
spending the night
bitch.
in the last one.
You're alive.
I'm sorry, I thought we were giving a review of the bed.
What are you planking?
And different members of our team are going to be staying in the other rooms. So sorry for the slight clickbait, but you guys are going to get to see a hotel room in all 33 hotels. Listen, if we got the card, got a key card, we stayed here. Right. Also, we filmed this in July, so if we're complaining about the heat, that's why.
Now, this is like one of those like pizza hut scenes.
It's delivery and DoorDash at the same time. But without further ado, on to day 1. Are you ready, Tyler?
I think I have to be.
Have you iced your foot sufficiently?
I'm gonna have to ice as we go.
Now, we could almost call day 1 Mandalay Day because all 3 of our first hotels were inside of the same Mandalay Bay building. Right? And they all share one casino floor. The Four Seasons takes up a couple of floors of a specific wing of the hotel.
Yeah, see, this is the view from our Four Seasons.
And then the Delano is kind of like attached to the back. We took took on the Four Seasons first, which is definitely a fancy hotel. In fact, it was actually the most expensive room on our entire roster at over $1,000 for one night. But overall, it was kind of like generic luxury. I mean, it's a Four Seasons hotel, it's supposed to be nice, it smells like a spa, it's got some fancy artwork, but for Vegas, which is all about theming and entertainment and flashiness, it's pretty normal. Come on. The room itself was definitely high-end accommodation. The beds and linens were very soft and plush. The bathroom had all of the fancy trappings like a separate toilet room and a separate shower and tub, but overall, there just wasn't anything super special or stylized about it. They're not giving me sensual Vegas vibes. No. This is not, a hard tub. So I guess we are starting off with not really a bay. It's a nice room.
Not for $1,000.
One of the only notable things besides this poodle, I like it, and the giant mushroom lobby feature was that there were a ton of NBA players staying there for summer league, which I didn't know was a thing, but apparently it's a thing. And Tyler's already seen many people that he never seen, and weirdly some people that I know also. We did try to film around them, but it's hard because they're just so tall. Whenever there's a tall person, I think they must be an NBA player, right? That's how it works, right? Where stuff are you an NBA player? Our designated activity at the Four Seasons was their famous all-you-can-eat brunch.
Meal 1.
Meal 1 of 45? Are you 15 days?
I think we are.
That's a lot of meals.
Yeah.
And it was actually a pretty impressive spread.
Come on, here we go.
Arby's no longer has meats. We have meats.
Four Seasons, Vegas.
They had a lot of different cuisines, a pastry hutch, a make-your-own omelet bar, and a fried-to-order mini donut bar.
Moving in, Four Seasons, in the restaurant, right over the hotel. Here.
I think my
There's the
favorite
middle,
part was weird
about
that
here.
They chilled their iced coffee with coffee ice cubes. There's no dilution of the iced coffee as the ice melts. The ice is melted, so there's more coffee, which is pretty elevated.
Layers and layers.
Honestly,
You could
I don't
hold,
really
like,
see myself
a
coming
whole
back to
sandwich
stay
in
at
there.
the Four Seasons
Or
in
3,
Vegas
actually.
specifically, but I would be interested in coming back for their brunch.
Alright, where's that hit?
We're going there next.
Alright, you lead the way.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Pulling my leg.
And narrowly missed being clipped by the door. Nice.
You're looking up.
Probably.
Weird foot machinations.
So then we were headed to the Delano. Alright, we're going to the bridge.
Let's see.
And you can spelunk there, aka get there without having to go outside, as you can go down a long hallway, cross through the Mandalay Bay casino floor.
All direct. You're good. You're good. Guy on your right, guy on your left, guy on your left. Yep.
Then go down another long hallway until you reach the Delano. The Delano is sort of just like an extra tower of the Mandalay Bay, but it is quite stylized in its own right. Cheesecake Factory vibes, right?
Well, isn't it hard that there's like a restaurant next to it, you know?
It's giving cheesecake. It's sort of brassy and tall, with a lot of light fixtures and art installations. Heck, that is a giant rock. Rocks, blocks, sticks, 4 elements.
No, she was such a rock fan.
In fact, because there's not a lot of other activities in the Delano itself, the main attraction in the lobby is kind of these giant rocks. Oh, these rocks are 700 million years old? That's pretty old. Which are a crowd favorite. We got the guys who make clear after you get the shot, and they'll just stop to look at the rock. Hey, look at the rock. The Delano is actually all sweets.
I prefer fossils, but that could be just me.
So even though we had a base level room, it was pretty nice and large.
Oh, wow. This is not even the whole room.
We had like a sitting room, a bedroom, and a large bathroom, with my favorite, separate toilet room, shower, and tub.
You fan?
This is the unseen bathroom dance from earlier. And though the styling was a little random.
Are we underwater?
No, we're no. I thought there was some pizzazz to it. There's the central base I was looking for.
Right.
Specifically, the large quilted headboard.
Hot
made
fucking
from
horde. Hot! Fuck! Ugh.
And the
Woo!
doors are also kind of tall.
Looks like you finally heated up the temperature. Woo!
And for being the room right after the Four Seasons, when you
That's why you use water when you use a hot glue gun.
it's bigger and more
Whew.
interesting to look at. And they've got rocks.
That's as close as I think this has ever come to actually burning me.
We're on to the Mandalay Bay proper, which is kind of like the parent hotel of the three. And just to get it out of the way, come on, here is the room. Oh, actually,
Conquer your tough
Pretty basic.
Liquid fast relief.
Add the liquid gels. Get liquid fast relief.
Because you don't stop. Neither does Tucson. And with more than 9 out of 10 sold in the last decade still on the road, Wah keeps you going.
Maybe I'll add some eyes to the horns. Yeah, why not? I can't really do much with the body. I would like to add some claws. I don't think I have any though.
The majority of our coastline is very pristine. QuickBooks is great in terms of getting paid quick because I can access QuickBooks from my phone. So if we're at a beach, I can write an invoice and send it off. I have to wear a lot of hats, so knowing whether that money's coming in and the invoices have been sent, checking that from my phone is a great option.
Pretty nice. Overall, it's a comfortable room. The room is pretty big. It's quite large and kind of has a cabana vibe to it. And for the price, I was pretty pleased. This is the Sakia Films the bathroom segment, which for some reason is a thing. Bathtub, normal size shower. Exciting.
Working on monsters, what are you doing?
A steal compared to the Four Seasons, but to be honest, the room wasn't really the highlight of the Mandalay Bay for us, because there's a lot of stuff in there. Besides the casino floor, there's a lot of different nooks and crannies. Love me a good water feature.
This is a good one.
This is a good with stores, bars, and restaurants. Reading straight from the service place. Don't judge us. And there's also a lot of different attractions. The whole place has kind of an aquatic, beachy, reefy theme, and so do the activities we ended up doing there. First up, we headed to the Mandalay Beach wave pool and lazy river outside. Alright, Tyler's gonna take his shirt off. The wave pool was nice and cold.
Hot, ooh, hot, ooh, hot. Fucker.
Want to touch behind me?
She said.
Though I was nervous that I was gonna drop my phone in.
Oh, it's me. You better watch that iPhone top.
I think I got the shot.
So we quickly switched over to the lazy river. Unfortunately, you had to buy your own inner tube for like $30, which we passed on. But I think you can also just walk the lazy river.
There are people walking.
There are people walking around, so that's what we're doing.
What if I'm like a water aerobics class right now? You're zooming, dude.
And then the other activity that we did at the Mandalay Bay was the Shark Reef Aquarium.
Literally.
Shark Reef Aquarium! They have a whole aquarium somewhere in the depths of their hotel.
Oh, wow.
The Rainforest Cafe in here. And it was actually pretty legit.
Oh my god, you're so still. Oh, I see these shivers.
Okay,
It started off
more
kind of
eyes.
slow with some turtles, a croc, a piranha or two.
I know you.
Where is the eyes? I just
But
put
a
the
little further in, there were stingrays and sharks you could touch, a tower of jellyfish, an aqua tunnel with baby hammerheads.
Yeah, let's do that size.
Which provided us some very unique perspectives on a bunch of different sharks. That was pretty much our day one. We just
Ugh, those eyes.
restaurant where Tyler got some killer cream corn. And then it was off to bed, since we had a lot to tackle on day 2, which we're dubbing our Giant Behemoth Edifices Day, since our 2 hotels for this day were the Luxor, which is a giant pyramid, and the Excalibur, which is a giant castle. And I think they are both well known on the Strip because they're so identifiable, and are both famously themed in a Vegas meets Epcot kind of way. The way you get to the Luxor from the Mandalay Bay is this long, narrow mall you can walk through,
Like the Bering Strait land bridge.
which is another great example of you can travel miles in Vegas without having to go outside.
Oh!
This place is huge!
I know, I just said that.
Whoa! And when you walk into the Luxor, its scale is pretty impressive.
There we go. I think that's enough eyes. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 eyes. And 10 eyes. And 10 eyes. That's an inside joke.
It's very quiet and
Fangs are
stony,
good.
and the whole
Cool
interior
now.
is completely devoid reflective sunlight, which really does give it Pharaoh's tomb vibes.
I can't stop looking like straight up.
Yeah.
Literally just looking up. Here's my angle of choice. It's huge!
They also have a model city of what must be the city of Luxor inside of it, but when we got a better look from up above, there seemed to be a rogue Chrysler building in the mix.
Right? That is the Chrysler building.
They just repurposed that from New York.
New York building.
Speaking
There
of
we
being
go.
high up, we gotta
We gotta get
rewind to the
painted now.
elevator situation.
Black first. And you gotta go over here for
They
now.
scale the corners of the pyramid at a diagonal, which totally messes up your equilibrium.
Ooh, actually, I can tell. Suddenly I'm dizzy.
And already off balance, you are then immediately confronted with a narrow pathway next to like a 100-foot drop down to the center of the pyramid.
Oh, wow. Oh, I just got a little weak in the legs.
Oh, I can't look down, I can't look down, I can't look down.
Pretty terrifying, and probably even scarier when you're drunk.
My hotel keys rattling like my teeth are chattering.
Courage, cowardly dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Return the slab.
Hotel keys! What's right here?
In terms of the room,
Come on in.
the Luxor is not supposed to be super nice, and with that in mind, I thought the room was overall okay. Seemed serviceable.
It's better than the hall.
But beyond the very loud AC unit,
I do love me some white noise. It's a little grated. It's not quite white noise anymore.
the window situation was also kind of strange. First off, since the window is part of the pyramid, it cuts into the room at an angle.
But we're in the RV right now.
And then there's also the black wrapping around the entire building, which makes it really hard to see out of.
Oh, the mesh is part of the outside. It's
Yeah.
not like a sunscreen that I can like lift.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to see out.
It works.
Illuminati much? Here's this eye watching you in your hotel room that's on the side of this pyramid.
But not the worst.
Oh,
Oh dear, missed a big chunk. Oh, there we go.
these are actually not so bad.
After descending, we had our choice of different things we could do at the Luxor, because there's actually a lot. They have their main casino floor, a bunch of restaurants, bars, and their esports arena, all on the floor below, which is kind of low-ceilinged and squished. And then in their main atrium, they have multiple shows and exhibits to choose from.
It's like you go to Carrot Top, Moon Group, Striptease.
Oh, I'd love to see the Blue Man Group.
We ended up walking through the Titanic exhibit, which, to be honest, is an interesting tone shift from irreverent, fun Vegas to, like, sad and somber exhibit. But then they also make you take photos where you recreate scenes from the movie,
Oh my god, it's a movie. Yes. I know what this is meant.
which is also kind of weird because it's a very sad exhibit. Before heading out, we decided to get lunch at the Luxor food court, which I have
There we
heard
go.
was pretty
You let
good.
that dry. There's the head.
This was a pretty mistake.
I want
I
zhuzh it up a
loved
little
Johnny
bit. I
Rockets,
just
but
don't
I was
know
not
what to do.
prepared for the 3 chicken sandwiches I bought there to cost $70.
Crazy, right? It's gotta be the chicken sandwich of my life.
Unfortunately, it was not.
I feel betrayed by Johnny Rockets.
So with our love for Johnny Rockets permanently entombed, we headed outside into the sweltering heat and hopped on the monorail to our next hotel, the Excalibur.
It just got real.
The Excalibur is like general Renaissance fair / medieval / King Arthur themed, and I've always wanted to go. In fact, I threatened to have my bachelorette party there in 2019, but no one wanted to go with me.
I'd have gone with you.
Yeah. Good room.
And to be honest, when you walk in, the theming does live up to the hype. They have stained glass windows, they have suits of armor, they have turrets, they have stones. It's awesome.
Maybe claws. I don't have claws. This is why I need a 3D printer.
It's pretty and also it's packed.
I'm not big enough. I don't use the fangs because I don't have enough. I'll just have to go without. Okay, there's the
theming
bottom.
and also because of their really built-out arcade. That's evil.
I know.
But they do also have the Australian Bee Gees and the Thunder Down Under, so it's not all family friendly.
Yeah, you know they got a show downstairs where they're swinging their sticks around, and also upstairs.
We opted for our activity to do the Tournament of Kings jousting show. In general, we were trying to stray away from just going to shows, just to avoid filming Cirque du Soleil performers all week, but we kind of had to do this one because it's epic. It is very similar to medieval times where it's like dinner and a show. and they separate you into different sections to cheer for the different knights that fight in King Arthur's tournament.
I like how it's Ireland, Romania, Norway, Spain, Dragon.
We were seated in the Dragon section, which meant that we were cheering for Mordred and the forces of evil. Like when King Arthur got stabbed, we cheered. The show?
We washed my dog's blanket, and it still smells great. All thanks to Downy on Soft Bowls. I was concerned that the scent would be overpowering. It was the opposite. It's the perfect amount. I genuinely love Soft Bowls.
Centrum, a multi-purpose scientifically formulated to support a healthy foundation for every body. Support your immune system and your energy metabolism too. Namaste. Centrum, the #1 doctor-recommended multivitamin. You did it.
Once you lose your enamel, you can't really get it back. Strong enamel. Nothing beats a Pro Enamel Active Shield.
I travel for business a ton, and I have 2 tips. Never stay on the same floor as your boss, and always book your trips with Hotels.com. See, they give you a reward night for every time you stay at hundreds of thousands of hotels.
I haven't gone anywhere. Where's the fang?
Oh my god. Look familiar.
Any single one of these comments is your next super Instead, you're just grabbing your valuable content and disappearing. Meanwhile, your follower count stays not moving. This will change everything for me. Setting one simple rule: follow first. It's super simple. You'll set up your automation that says comment blank word to get the link. They automatically get a message from you making sure that they're following you. It actually checks, and boom, once they're actually following you, they'll get the link that has whatever it is that you're offering them. It's so easy to set up. It's literally a template. If you're tired of giving away your best content to ghost followers who not sleep on ManyChat, trust me, your content deserves followers who actually stick around.
The show was honestly sick. Our
We
guy
don't have good
preached for a
content.
bunch of
Oh
times.
shit.
And to be honest, I think he was robbed. So overall, my impression of the main hotel body and attractions was pretty positive. The only negative was that after the dust from the horses, the smoke from the fireworks and jewels around the stifling Vegas heat, we were kind of yearning for a breath of fresh air.
A lot of casino air for the last couple of days.
Yeah, and our rooms did not provide any respite on that front. Come on in. Now, the Excalibur is a more budget hotel, so you shouldn't expect a luxury experience. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. But beyond just being basic accommodation, the room was unfortunately not the cleanest.
Ew.
It's not particularly clean looking.
But I feel like I don't want to know. There were a couple of scuffs on the wall, and the air was a little musty, which one can overlook, but it was the brown marks on my pillow which were tougher to look past.
Yeah, that's
My first instinct was to flip the pillow over, but there were some on the other side.
Jeez.
Actually, it's a pretty gross pillow.
So I was forced to move into Tyler's double bed, which was pretty cramped between me, Tyler, and Tyler's plantar fasciitis brace. I didn't want to...
Plantar fasciitis brace? You have braces? I just got taped.
So some high highs and some low lows. On to day 3.
Good morning, Excalibur!
And this day was kind of like our unexpected gem day, where we crossed the proverbial pond from King Arthur's court to New York, New York.
Oh, yeah?
So nice they named it twice. Yeah. Oh, that's good, dude.
Park MGM and Nomad.
Keyboard brought you back to life.
Now, New York is another one of those classic Vegas-y, super themed hotels. It's pretty famous, or I think at least pretty visible on the Strip. Welcome to the concrete jungle. For some reason, I've never actually been to New York, and I've just never felt the urge to go. Hi from Nevada. It's Monday morning. And though the hotel is not supposed to be super fancy, the intricacy and dedication theme and the general ambiance and vibe really impressed me. Next to the casino floor, they have a whole set of New York side streets, complete with delis, restaurants, coffee shops, and one very dedicated New York Jets fan.
Poor guy.
And there's a few different attractions. There's a Hershey factory.
How come every time I order eyes, I never have enough eyes? Probably because you use them for other things, Holly. That's why you don't have matching pairs anymore.
Obvious choice for us was the Big Apple roller coaster.
There we go.
Island thing, I get it. Which is actually a very prominent part of the exterior of the hotel. You have the Statue of Liberty, and then you have the roller coaster going under. I see like a curly
I hate those. I hate these ones. I only ever get one side. Maybe I can, I don't know, scrape the backs off and paint them again or something. Ooh, there we go. Those don't match. God damn it. That does though.
So we all ended up pretty sore afterwards.
It is a very bumpy ride. Remember that at least.
Before we head on to the next hotel, come on, here's the New York room.
Ooh.
Kind of nice.
I kind of like this room, yeah.
Which was definitely not bad.
Full springy. I'm guessing it.
It was unfortunately less themed than downstairs, but was still a little themed. You know, the shower was kind of skyscraper gray.
The only thing that's a bit odd is that the whole room has like a pink tint. Maybe we're in like one of the buildings of red.
But the best part of the room was the view of the roller coaster's drop, which was directly outside of our window. A nice reminder of where my bruises came from.
I rode the New York roller coaster one time and then it was all over for me.
Fair.
After that, we headed over to the Park MGM.
If you can incidentally walk during these misters, that'd be great.
Which you kind of walk next to the fake Brooklyn Bridge to get to. This hotel used to be the Monte Carlo Casino until 2016 when it got a makeover and was rebranded as the Park MGM. And the Park MGM feels very new and very nice, and it is also, I believe, the first and only casino on the Strip to be completely smoke-free.
Oh, good. And
this provided us a lot of respite. After the dust and smoke of the last couple of days, I walked into the Park MGM and I was like, my head is clear, and
these don't match either.
Really like this.
Do you think? Don't they?
Tag on our room was not that expensive.
No, actually, they don't. Fuck it.
It does feel kind of luxury. It's bright, well lit, green, and tranquil. The pools are super nice. It's really pretty back here. There's a giant tree in the lobby for no reason. It's very pleasant.
I'm okay.
Park next to New York, which kind of makes sense, but is just a theory, a casino theory. More simple and austere.
Oh, it's multiple. Pretty cute.
It was on the side and
fuck.
But it did feel very clean. So I was perfectly happy to stay there. It's all green. Now, our third hotel of the day, the Nomad, was actually inside of the Park MGM. If you kind of walk through the elevator bank and hang a right, you're suddenly in a dark, moody, deep red, velvety jazz lounge, which is the Nomad Hotel.
Do people know about this place?
Really nice. I would say the theming here is kind of like 1920s whiskey in the library, but there's also some latent dog theming for no reason. And this really does feel like an unexpected gem, because it's very hidden and small, but really nice.
Dude, your room came in like a velvet case.
Let me see. Oh, that's fancy.
Now, in terms of the room, I have to be honest, I think they upgraded us for no reason.
Alright, so we have a slightly nicer room here, but we didn't need to.
Yeah, sorry.
So although we didn't pay more, I think this is no longer the base room. Which you can kind of tell because it was huge. There were multiple rooms inside of it, lots of plush furniture, and velvet chaise lounges, a huge bed.
Oh, this is nice!
It's a nice bed.
This is luxury.
The only thing that I didn't like was that the bathroom was split up into many locations. There was a separate toilet room near the entrance, a bathtub in the bedroom.
A bathtub in the bedroom? Oh, Jesus.
Second bathroom. We had lots of
These glittery purple ones would do, and while I get it out, these are nice ones.
But it also seems inconvenient.
Another glittery purple.
Now, in
ooh,
terms of activities,
that'll do.
MGM has a fair amount amount of stuff. There are restaurants and bars. Lady Gaga has her residency there, and we decided the thing we wanted to do was eat.
Italy.
We hit up Italy for lunch, which is not a Vegas exclusive, but it is awesome. It's kind of like a multi-station Italian market, and we went ham. I'm very happy with our ordering. I just spent a fair amount of money, but weirdly, not that much more than we spent at Johnny Rockets yesterday. I'm not even kidding.
That is weird.
That is weird. Weird. We got margarita pizza, we got fresh pasta made to order.
You keep just appearing with new food.
I forgot to give back my buzzer. We got kebabs for no reason, but it was a good call because they were good, and no crumb was left behind. Are you okay?
So good.
Tyler's near tears.
Not okay.
I love it. And then for dinner, we hit up Roy Choi's restaurant, Best Friend, which is themed like a Korean convenience store in the front and a block party in the back.
Someone's gonna have a...
So all in all, day 3.
I like the face on this one, it's very nice.
So day 4, we're calling our sleek and chic day, because the places we're going to are all kind of swanky, glittery, and modern, and the buildings are all tall and made of glass.
We're going to all the hotels that are just sort of like blocking us out from the rest of the strip.
We have the Waldorf Astoria, the Aria, and the Cosmopolitan, which are all a bit north of the Park MGM. CVS right there. You need anything? The Waldorf Astoria was up first, which is a traditionally fancy hotel chain, and there's no casino in there, it's just like a luxe hotel. And what?
Is your happy place? Until you come back to bad odors. Use the plug-in. It alternates between 2 complementary scents to fight odors and provide freshness for up to 50 days. Try
let go.
it
There we go.
99 cents.
There, the little jackalope, ready to go.
Just the 2 million people who rely on Holofly. Holofly is the best kept secret for travelers. Do what I did and join the community of connected travelers with Holofly.
Cool things about it is that the lobby is on like the 23rd floor, so it immediately has that kind of penthousey vibe. And though the room here was not cheap, it was less expensive than the Four Seasons and had way more of that luxury vibe to it. Like everything was marble and stylized, there were random orchids everywhere, the hallway in particular was very upscale. In this room,
oh man, this looks nice.
Come on in. Might be the fanciest room that we stayed in Vegas.
Whoa, look at that bathroom. Whoa, look at that bathroom.
This is very nice.
There we go.
It definitely has some travel luxury to it.
Relax. Relax. Ooh. The lights went off. Sorry.
The textiles are plush, the wood is dark, there's marble everywhere. The bathtub is visible, but in a tasteful way.
Oh, wow. Optionality.
And besides the extremely weighty pillow.
Oh. You feeling calmer now?
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, it's lovely. They also have a valet closet. Do I know exactly what it's for? No, but it feels fancy. The only downside of this hotel is that it's pretty small and there's not a ton to do. We ate sort of an early lunch there, and I ended up having tuna for breakfast, which was random feeling, but the food was good. After exiting the Waldorf, we headed up a random flight of stairs and into this pretty bougie mall, which is actually also on theme because it's called the Shops at Crystal.
Oh, that would be lovely. I can find another one.
And the Aria is a confusing one. The building feels really giant, and there's a ton of different decor choices throughout. The Aria lobby smells like vanilla marshmallow.
Yes.
The Aria lobby makes no sense. Swirl thingies suspended in the air. Some crystals, a few water features. These giant metal playing cards, a random honeycomb, these wiry light fixtures. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out what and the real area did not seem to matter any further for us.
Come on.
itself is totally fine. Nothing to write home about, but definitely more than serviceable as a launching pad for a night out. The only extra sniff of theming we found up here were these blurry pictures.
Oops, sorry.
But it's just like a pink
Give me a second. Oh, I don't see anything on the bottom either. I'm gonna have to divide all these into different sizes so I don't have to dig through them all the time. Especially when I'm in a rush. Oh, I found it.
I get it. I finally get it. But tipsy to no theme side, there is a lot to do at the Aria, with a huge casino floor, some kind of famous restaurants like Catch and Din Tai Fung, as well as a mall inside of the hotel. We opted to go for the 24-hour patisserie in the middle of the casino, which sells sandwiches and lattes and gourmet chocolates at all hours of the night. So we got a bunch of truffles and a breakfast burrito. Quick note, the Aria does have a hotel called Aura, which is next door, but it is not physically connected to the
I have a
Aria,
message.
so you have to walk outside. And it itself does not have a Las Vegas Boulevard address, so it doesn't...
One second. I have cash and I can swing by and drop it off anytime. Pay for those horns. Oh.
We meet our criteria. Sorry, Dara. So we did not stay here. Ignore this shot of the room and this shot of the canoe sculpture outside. There's a bunch of canoes, like, welded together.
They're freaking new.
It's freaking new. So after that, we headed back through the fancy mall, across another short land bridge, until we arrived at our third hotel.
I see the Cosmo. Target blocked.
And the Cosmopolitan Hotel is quite similar to the Aria, except the layout is more vertical and the theming is a little bit stronger.
The Cosmo is for parties with jewels on. Basically.
They go a bit further in on the glitzy, glam, swanky nightlife vibe, helped a lot by this giant
I'm gonna have to do.
floor that's right on the entrance.
Should have cut them off.
These books, rotary pictures, and Ariana Grande masks kind of make sense to me as like a giant night. 3 activities here, which is kind of a lot, starting with one of their not-so-secret speakeasies. They have like a secret bar inside of a barber shop, which unfortunately was closed for a private event, so instead, we went to their secret ski lodge bar.
The least speakeasy thing ever. We have a map to where the speakeasy is.
Right.
We already got lost though, so
Yes.
I guess it succeeded in being hidden.
This one is next to the entrance of this really colorful restaurant they have, Super Frico, and inside, it's 1980s
little fangs.
and they did a pretty good job. Someone who's never
horns.
seen a 1980s ski, I felt like I was there.
Like they do on the Discovery Channel, yeah.
They have a bunch of wintry drinks,
Maybe we can make them work. Problem is they're sharp.
but my favorite thing was the personal s'mores roasting plate that we got,
It's like KBBQ, but it's s'mores.
where they give you a little mini barbecue, marshmallows, chocolate, and graham crackers, and you can roast them right there. Besides that, the Cosmo also has a bunch of hip and or insta-famous restaurants like Milk Bar and Egg Slut, as well as celebrity chef restaurant David Chang's Momofuku, which we did stop by.
Now she blows.
If you couldn't tell by now, we are cooking up a celebrity chef restaurant video, so we'll save our full review for a bit later. But the Cliff Notes version is that the corn is out of this world.
I'm trying to feed you the corn.
Then finally, before retiring to our room,
We're full. Let's go.
we did hit up the Chandelier Bar, which I like because it kind of feels like you're in a giant crystal cocoon and is also pretty good people watching.
It's kind of like a big pillow fort. Like we're on the Inside, and everyone else is just walking around the outside.
Also, if you are my mom or the YouTube monetization squad, these drinks are all mocktails. I promise. Now that's a lot on the Cosmo, so we'll keep our review of the room brief.
Alright. Come on in. You were in all of mankind.
The room is quite good. It's clean, it feels like it was recently updated, and there is also a dash of theming up here as well. There's some glitz, some gold, some jewel tones, some sexy lady in the bathroom, and a bit of a suggestive view into the shower. It's kind of like a sensual thing.
I can see you pretty well through it.
For me, I just found it very comfortable.
That's nice.
Excuse me, I broke myself.
And I did also like our view of the Bellagio fountain show next door.
Wait, that's it.
Don't do this at home, kids.
Which is, if you couldn't tell, where we're
Oh,
heading
wow.
next for day 5, which we're calling our
You burnt
mega
real
famous
quick.
casino day.
We are feeling pretty good, energized, ready for today, which is about to be intense.
Because I'm just gonna have to
4 hotels
burn and paint something.
for today.
On the docket were the pretty well-known Bellagio of Ocean's Movies fame, Caesar's Palace of The Hangover fame, and the Mirage, whose volcano is featured in pretty much every B-roll shot of Vegas ever. We're also going to be hitting up the Nobu Hotel inside of Caesar's as well. And these are all hotels that Tyler and I know pretty well. We've never stayed at the Bellagio, but we've been there a bunch of times. We have stayed at Caesar's, and we've also stayed at the Mirage.
Oh, there's Sa. Hey, she's tiny.
The Bellagio in general is vaguely Italian villa themed, since this fountain is supposed to be Lake Como, and once you've scaled the ramp, you're greeted with a really beautiful interior.
The Bellagio is...
Why are you cutting off the tips? Because I don't want to stab anybody. They're really sharp.
The lobby has an intricate blown glass Jubilee flower bed on the ceiling, and just beyond that you have the conservatory and botanical gardens. Which is one of the Bellagio's marquee attractions. While we were there, it was kind of like jungle animal themed.
I like the sound design.
Me too.
Like Jurassic Park.
I was gonna say soaring over California.
Yes.
And this is another little spot on the strip where you can get a nice breath of fresh air. There's natural light, it smells good, and all of those plants really hit you with a dose of oxygen.
This is wonderfully fresh and breezy. Also extremely productive. People are cut their together in there, like for real.
Yeah.
So even though it is very busy, I really like it. The rest of the hotel is similarly gilded and ornate. You've got a very large casino floor, tons of restaurants, and also a very luxury mall inside of the hotel on one side. So overall, the Bellagio common areas, very nice. Unfortunately,
Come on.
the room, not so nice. First impressions were that the room was fine. It's pretty big.
It's a nice size for sure.
They have decent features. The decor feels a little
I'm not going to
dated,
spend
but
any
overall
time in a
that's
room,
okay.
so
So when you see
basic
this
is
room,
fine
you're
for
not going
me.
to think it looks bad. You're going to think it looks decent.
Oh,
That's pretty plush.
oh, it's plush. I was gonna say plush.
Yeah.
But the devil is truly in the details, and that devil lies inside this mini fridge. We've been opening the mini fridges in the different rooms just to check them out, and to this point they had been pretty uneventful. The mini fridge at the Bellagio, however, contained a box of something that must have been in there for at least a month or more,
It's supposed to sing here right now. Try to air it out.
because it was super rotten.
It's that. I'm literally holding my breath.
And after like 10 seconds of the mini fridge being open, it was like a stink bomb had gone off.
Let's get out of here because it smells so bad.
No, I mean, like, listen, it's fine. It's bad. It's
I am really not trying to just be a hater.
I like the Bellagio. I like the botanical gardens. I like the vibe downstairs. But it's pretty bad to have like a rotting box of food in the fridge. Because it smells like it's been there for a while. Like not just it's like.
With anything potato in there, you might as well just evacuate the whole building.
And as the name implies, it's really ancient Roman themed.
I gotta be honest, Caesar's Palace is one of my favorite casinos on the strip. It's a classic, you know?
And they go all in.
Caesar Hotel.
the man with the plan.
There's a lot of grand fountains, columns, marble. There's like a Colosseum performance venue.
Is Galileo here? I don't know.
And there are a lot of statues, some of which are pretty naked.
That's an idea.
Hanging Brain.
His market has been covered with the relief.
It's also the oldest still operating hotel on this side of the strip as of 1966. Tyler and I have stayed here before, and when we were here last time, we got a slightly more upgraded room.
wonder if I pop these out, they'll disappear the whole as well.
The base room that we had on this trip was a little bit banged up, I would say. Still acceptable.
Ooh, with multiple shower heads. Alright.
But objectively, there were some scuff marks here and there, and some general wear and tear.
Our, desk has seen better days.
Oh yeah. I wonder if it's because people try to recreate the hangover experience too much like Sleepy Palace.
Yes, Mike Tyson in a tiger. That's the Elvis.
My take on the room is that Caesars has a low floor
that
but
didn't
a
work.
high ceiling. So the base rooms are pretty basic.
It's a little hard.
When you try to scrunch up gin.
But you can get a nicer room at Caesars, somewhere in their many towers. Speaking of other towers, let's quickly touch on the Nobu Hotel, which is a mini hotel inside of Caesars. There's not a lot to it. It's next to and is affiliated with the Nobu Sushi restaurant.
All I really know about it is that it's expensive, it's in Malibu, and Kris Jenner likes it.
And the hotel is basically a check-in desk, an elevator shaft,
There's no buttons in here.
So we go to the right floor.
and some rooms. But make no mistake,
Yeah?
come on in.
Oh, it's super AC. Oh, it's nice.
The rooms are pretty luxe.
This is nice. This is nice.
Like the restaurant, the rooms are definitely Japanese inspired, and they go all in with the styling here. You have the dark wood, some ink calligraphy vibes.
The finishings and furniture are all really good.
It also feels pretty upscale, with a very comfortable bed.
Oh, I stayed right into that.
And an awesome
And-
bathroom. My one gripe is that if you're gonna go all in with the Japanese-inspired styling, you might as well throw in a high-tech Japanese toilet. Because I feel like the only thing this bathroom is missing is a toilet with a heated seat, bidet, and chirping birds that sing when you pee.
That's something that maybe Nobu should look into.
They had it at the Castle Hotel.
Just a suggestion.
Now, back out to Caesars proper. As we mentioned before, there's a ton of stuff here.
Giant game of bingo happening behind us. That's the first round of bingo I've seen so far.
There's a huge club, there's a giant sports book, and there's a bunch of celebrity chef
I'm overthinking things
restaurants,
again.
as well as multiple Gordon Ramsay restaurants. For our upcoming celebrity chef video, we'll go to Hell's Kitchen. Not spoil the review of the place, not to keep Wellington connected, but here is a shot of me with Digital Gordon. We will, however, spoil our review of Lisa Vanderpump's Cocktail Garden. She's more of a restaurateur than a chef, but she is also Tyler's celebrity crush, so he was pretty excited. The place is arguably over-decorated, and the drinks are very expensive, but we enjoyed ourselves.
Bye, Kyle.
I recommend Benny VD Lychee, and not the coconut thing that Tyler got. After our we explored one of our favorite parts of Caesar's Palace, the Forum Shops, which I like because it is a huge mall with a wide range
What would
of
be a
shops
convenient time to swing by?
with statues, fountains,
I love that indoor fountain Vegas smell. Chlorine. I love it.
and there's a big sky, which gives it that it could be 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. kind of feel. So after traversing the ancient Roman side streets,
I gotta upgrade this one. He's been around for a little bit. He needs upgrades. Any ideas?
final hotel of the day, the Mirage. Now, a couple of interesting things about the Mirage. When it was built in 1989, it was known as the Strip's first mega resort, having not only a casino, but also a dolphin habitat, magic show, and famous volcano fountain out front. And since then, a ton of the other Vegas casinos we know now were remodeled or built to mirror this strategy. The other thing is that the Mirage has recently been sold and is going to be turned into a giant guitar-shaped hard rock casino, so what you see now is not going to be around for much longer. As we've mentioned, we've stayed at the Mirage before. It has a general tropical island theme with large fish tanks, some palm trees, a mermaid statue, and a very specific scent.
To me, what I always remember about the Mirage is the smell. It smells exactly like the existing formula Muru butter bronzer.
It smells gross.
We got to the Mirage kind of late in the day, but we still did do a few things. First off, we went to the Tom Colicchio Steakhouse, also for our upcoming video.
This business, one day you're in, the next you're out.
That's not talked up.
Which is right in the middle of the casino floor, but is also kind of hidden behind a pond, where we got a spectacular bowl of gazpacho.
There's watermelon in there.
Oh yeah?
And then the volcano show was surprisingly bumpin'.
It's a pretty big event. I mean, there's even a guy selling spinny things.
Yeah. I would have said it was a less popular version of the Bellagio fountain show.
Come on, you fucker, come out.
But there are hundreds of people out there watching this thing. I guess people do have some appreciation for the classics.
You know, being 32 years old, people like that thing.
And then as for the room, come on, it was okay. Honestly, not bad. Once again, we've stayed here before, and our impression of it in the past is that it's a pretty good deal. This room is a little less nice than the room we stayed in last time, but it's definitely adequate. The bathroom is a little
There we
small.
go.
It does seem clean. There's Tyler. The style is a little indistinct.
It's got a carpet section and a tile section.
Look at that. But it was fine.
So we're sleeping tonight.
It's pretty good. Alright, so that's a wrap on day 5.
That's around day 5, people. And that all brings us to day 6.
There it is. Now wear that.
The hotels for this day don't have a ton in common, so we're just calling this day Treasure Island and Resorts World. Maybe you could call them the odd couple.
Oops.
Treasure Island is just next door to the Mirage, and as you might have guessed, is pirate themed. The exterior is very promising. There's a port with a bunch of ships out there, and when you walk in, there is a bit of like Isle of Tortuga pirate stronghold vibes. Commenced by siren song. Follow me to the sea. But that quickly fades into vague nautical to no theme at all. You have Senor Frogs in there, which is like a Cabo thing, and then also Gillies, which is like a mechanical bull-having saloon type of place, and a CVS, none of which scream pirate.
You know there's a dirt live here? Water feature.
It seems like this phasing out of the theme is purposeful on TI's part. They used to have a pirate show, they got rid of it, but I think that's a mistake. Because right now it's kind of in a wishy-washy no man's land, where the style has sort of descended into a generic nothing.
I need more of this. I need more of this in my life.
General boat stuff.
My criticism here extends to the room as well.
Come on.
Okay.
Which was actually pretty solid in terms of accommodation.
This is pretty nice. I like the view.
Not the biggest, but nothing was wrong with it.
Maybe could have dyed it pink, but hey, we got what we got.
I realize it's shivery timbers is not the same thing as timber.
But I could have used a treasure map, a painting of a parrot, a mermaid, anything.
Even just like an island beach scheme would be good for the art. You know, like wash the shore.
They have a great theme and they do nothing with it.
It's even less than everywhere else.
As for the activity here,
I've asked Jimmy if he's percent sale. Why am I always Irish?
once again, it's a little random.
There are Irish pirates, don't worry about it.
Marvel Avengers station.
As a medium fan of the Avengers, how you feeling?
I'm a big fan. I have no idea.
I don't think you've ever even seen any of these movies.
Which is well done, like they have a lot of original props and costumes from the movies. There's an interactive experience or two,
To Tom Hiddleston's bedroom.
which I did enjoy.
Let's roll to the side.
And I did like the last game where I was shooting hammers at this guy that Tyler has informed me is named Ultron.
Honestly, a thumb workout. I was swiping like my life depended on it.
After Treasure Island, we embarked on one of the longer walks of our trip over to Resorts World. Luckily, the gods were in our favor, and we were graced with a little bit of rain during our trek.
Feels nice out. Uh-oh, I got some water on the camera.
So our 20-minute walk between the two hotels was about 10 degrees cooler.
We could use one of those things.
Where'd you get that scooter? Though I was a little worried about the lightning at our heels.
Oh. We had lightning
Now,
storm last night. It was
requires
lovely.
explaining because it's confusing.
It's raining here.
This place is enormous.
It's very new, and it's also kind of 3 hotels mashed together into one.
Do we think this is the way to check this out?
I think it is. Yes. Where there's casino, this
That
could be
looks so
second
fluffy.
guessing.
Where each tower of the hotel is operated by a different subsidiary of Hilton. So you could have a room in Resorts World, but be staying in a completely different hotel based on where you are.
There, I think.
Another thing to note is that they also had to change their design a few times while they were building, as they were sued by the Wynn for basically stealing the Wynn's design. And it kind of feels like they're still reeling from that, as I would say the design and decor of the place is a bit cacophonous. deliciousness.
I like eggs.
It's very shiny, modern, and grand, and there's a lot of artwork, but beyond that, it feels like they're throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. We've got a mall with a giant orb in it. It's sort of like a Chicago bean and not all love child. We've got a number of elephant statues. Right here.
Oh, that's luxury.
Probably the craziest bathrooms I've ever seen in my life.
Back it. Just do it. What's it gonna be? Something that doesn't sell? It's been sitting here for a year at least.
The building is actually a giant LED screen. Literally, what is reserved for right now? All that said, I liked it. It does feel like they're trying to entertain you in any way possible, and at least some of the spaghetti was sticking for me.
This hotel's kind of like a greatest hits of Vegas.
A quick aside for our room, which was in the Hilton Tower. It was very nicely furnished and finessed. Math is kind of hard, but
This could have been tighter, much
and I
tighter.
liked the style.
We could figure that out.
White, gold, blue, kind of modern. The ceilings are high.
Yeah.
I do think it's somewhat entertaining that they spent what I can only imagine was $1 bajillion on this hotel, just for most of us to have a view exclusively of Circus Circus, which we will talk about more tomorrow, but on this day, with the clouds and lightning storm around it, looked absolutely terrifying.
Thunder. Lightning and thunder.
In terms of the attractions of the hotel, as we mentioned, there's a lot, but my absolute favorite part was their street eats. Right here, which is like an Asian cuisine themed food hall that has a bunch of different stalls from a bunch of different countries. We got the Steve Aoki Japanese skewers.
A lot of yuzu action this trip.
We got Singaporean chicken curry. I would say probably the call is to drip and dip. Hong Kong style dumplings, and kind of an X factor, they also have a tiger sugar boba stall.
Sorry, I might have milk tea in your yakitori.
And we also got strawberry cheesecake shaved ice from their dessert kiosk.
Didn't you leave the table saying you were trying to get a small one?
They have different sizes.
Okay, this is what we got?
Which was chef's kiss.
It was a good day. Yeah, more. Bring it.
To be totally honest, this was one of my favorite
There we go.
dining experiences from
Just
the
blew it.
entire trip.
There we go.
Resorts World is kind of nice, so I would consider staying here again. But
There we
even
go.
if I wasn't staying here, I would come back for the street eats. It was that good. And all of that brings us to our final day of part 1. And this day we're calling our Thrill Ride Day. Our hotels are Circus Circus and the Strat, and they have more in common than you would think.
I wonder how much my perception of Circus Circus would improve if they just changed the billboard.
Yeah.
From the most terrifying clown of all time to just any other clown.
In general, I've had a
There we
negative
go.
perception of
It's a little better, maybe, kind of. Looks like more anyway. It does give clown vibes, so let's go the full set with pom-poms on it now.
However, when we went in on the morning of day 7, it was not that scary. In fact, it was pretty lively.
Holy shit.
Don't have a lot of big
There
ones
were a
though.
ton of families in there, which makes sense after you take in what the actual attractions are. There's a food court, there's a lot of like boardwalk style shops.
I love those.
Oh yeah, I thought it said I love miles. Never mind.
And a huge, very built out arcade with carnival games.
Look at all the hamsters.
And to put it over the top, they have circus acts that perform in the middle of the arcade like every hour.
They're all wearing Crocs.
Let's stay at Circus
They were
Circus.
really legit. We saw a really good trapeze act randomly at like 11 a.m.
That was amazing.
So immediately, our book cover judgment was proved incorrect.
There we go.
That said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The residential area wasn't great. The elevator up to the room we're pretty sure broke down,
It's like actually kind of Stranger Thingsy.
and the hallway to our room was kind of nightmare-inducing.
Not my favorite hallway.
And though the room itself seemed serviceable and decently clean,
This is not too bad.
the bed was a bit stiff, the bathroom was a bit lacking, and the walls.
The walls are objectively thin.
It was in some ways a comfort to know that there were a lot of other people around, but at the same time, you can hear everything. I'm very, very...
I'm gonna call this stream for now. I have to run out, do some things. Then I'll probably, well, let's see, what time is it? I have to be somewhere at 5, and I owe somebody money right now, so
Video Circus was actually their Adventure Dome, which is an indoor theme park inside this large glass big top tent at the back.
And I'll come back and make some more things. We'll probably work till like 11:30 tonight. That's the plan anyway.
Everything is kind of pink tinged because of the red glow.
Come on. There we go.
But there are a lot of rides, and some of them are big ones. We tried 2 of their roller coasters. One of them was the Canyon Blaster.
Shh. Thank you. All right, I'm going to be back in a little bit, guys. Thank you for stopping in, and we'll work on more later.